Welcome back to Figure Depot. Been a long time since I did a long format review, so let's get into it. DC Multiverse, The Dark Knight Returns, Batman. This is from Frank Miller's graphic novel, The Dark Knight Returns. This is McFarlane's about 6th version of this figure, I think. Lots of really cool versions out there. Comic cover version in kind of a grayscale. Then you got like a tattered and torn blue version. With some unique accessories, and then there were 2 versions of that one. There was a platinum edition as well with some kind of like a shadow effect in the paintwork. Then we got, of course, the Build-A-Figure one, which had the gray and black. Mine has a custom cape. We'll look at that a little closer here in a second when we do our comparisons. Then we have a couple different versions, so this is probably going to be the final version that we get. I do love the design. All of the other ones had that thick black bat signal, heavy textured bat on the chest. This one has that classic yellow field with a black bat on it. So returning to form from the classic look. And this is one of the ways that he appears in the comic. And also the DC animated film, which is really, really good. If you haven't seen the DC animated film, what are you waiting for? So here's the front, side. You've all seen packaging before. This is an image from the comic. Looks really good. I'll give you the barcode if you're trying to chase him down. All right, let's get him open. All right, inside the package we have Batman with a bunch of wonderful little plastic strappy thingies. We get the Batarang with the rope, which we've gotten with pretty much every one of these. The hands that come with him, alternate hands, we got gripping hands on the figure. We have 2 fist hands. We have a sort of relaxed hand. And then we have his hand where he's jumping through the sky and the lightning bolt crashes behind him. And that hand is used for that pose. You can also karate chop some fools and all kind of fun stuff like that. All right, and then behind the figure we have our trading card, which is the same artwork featured on the back of the package, and then our standard DC Multiverse base, which with the last couple waves of figures we've gotten from McFarlane have had the DC logo embossed on them. Wow. Yeah. Love the superpowers blue and yellow and grays we've got going on here. Just a very nice return to form from my Batman from my childhood, which was, of course, the 1984 Superpowers Batman. I've been watching reviews of this figure. There's only one up right now as the time of recording this, and I was laughing at the guy reviewing it because he just kept spazzing out and freaking out, like, this is good, this is good, this is good, and like he was just wigging out over this figure. And now I'm not making fun of him anymore because, yeah, I see why. This thing is just a love letter to Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns Batman fans. All right, so the original figure, which we can look at real quick, we'll do some more comparisons in a minute. You can see they're on virtually the same buck. The only difference is the shoulder piece. So this had the cape on top of the figure. Well, the version that was from the comic cover had this exact head and little shoulder cap, which I love. It's nice and beefy and kind of shows off his shoulder muscles. And so that gives him just a little bit more height than the standard figure did. It had a little bit more of a hunched over look, and this has kind of got more of an erect, upright appearance to it. I do love the black under the eyes that we see here. That looks really nice. Yeah, that looks really good. Love the classic logo on this figure. This is kind of just fresh out the gate. He comes out of retirement, if you've seen the film or read the graphic novel, and this is just his back in business look. The wired cape is really nice. It is taffeta, real shiny, shimmery, kind of nylon material, but it will stay nice and rigid for posing if you want to get him in some cool poses. I may leave this one on here. I'm not sure. I may modify it with a different cape, or I may leave this one. It's pretty good, actually, for a McFarlane cape, so great job, McFarlane. Thank you for a really nice wired cape on this figure. Just looking at the wrinkles in the suit, if you've never seen one of these figures before, the texture on this thing is really nice. So, yeah. That comic cover version had a little steel mass that would plug into a display base so you could get him floating up in the air, and that hole is what that was for. He does not come with that display base in this iteration, so you just have a nice hole in the back of the torso. You can fill that, sand it, paint it if you want to, or you can just be okay with the fact that the cape's going to be covering it all the time. So unless you're doing figure photography and don't want that big hole in the back, it's probably not going to be an issue for you. I guess we'll do a breakdown of the articulation before we go into some size comparisons. Alright, the head is on a ball peg, so he will look up, he will look down. We do get some really nice tilt out of that. Arms will do a much better than parallel T-pose. You do get 360 rotation, single jointed elbows. We do have ball hinges, so you can swivel, hinge, go up and down. You can go any direction you want to with those. Y'all know what those do. We do get a twist at the waist. We get some nice side to side twisting motion. We twist at the lower torso also, although mine's a little tight. I don't want to force it. I hadn't put heat on this figure yet. This is straight out of the package. So he will twist 360 at the waist and here. These figures have never crunched forward very well. They do crunch back nicely though. So that's kind of the same situation that's plagued McFarlane from the beginning of the line, honestly. So no surprises there. Forward kick, not stellar. You can cut into these briefs and make them a little higher, and that will help that. Legs will go back to about there. So not a ton of range, but speaking of butts, it's the Super Cake Batman. Very deep sculpt for no reason at all. That's always been amusing for McFarlane collectors with this figure. We do get thigh swivels, thigh cuts, so that's great. It's the original figure rode on a Build-A-Horse, so that's why those are there. The range here is really nice. And then, of course, we have ankle rocker, ankle pivot, and toe articulation. So you can get all kind of range out of these little feet here. No problem at all. Splits about to there, and focus camera, jeez. Splits out to there, and yeah. So standard articulation for McFarlane, nothing unique or special with this version. If, like me, you just love a good street level bruiser, brawler Batman, this is the Batman for you. Once again, if you've not read the Frank Miller graphic novel or seen the DC animated film, highly recommend it. Yeah, this Batman takes the best parts of all the different versions of this figure that they have released to this point and just puts them all in one neat little package. So unless you just love the black and gray look, or like this beat up, scratched up, you know, street brawler look, definitely this is the only one you're gonna need to chase down. And they are hitting Target stores now, Amazon, and well, Amazon's still up for pre-order, I think. Big Bad Toy Store is shipping out now. Target stores are starting to get them. Walmart's starting to get them. So if you're toy hunting, good luck. Carrie Kelly Robin and the Mattel version of this figure look nice together. You could really interchange her with either line. Either Carrie Kelly figure, either from Mattel or from McFarlane, is interchangeable with either one, and vice versa. She's very small, so no matter whichever one you go with, either one's going to look fine, one with the other. Here's a look at him with my custom Batman the Animated Series 7-inch Batman figure. I took the head from the 6-inch Batman the Animated Series from DC Direct and put it on top of this. I think this is Nightfall Batman, if I'm not mistaken, which was not blue under the cape. I went in and painted the under part of the cape blue, so that gives us that Batman the Animated Series look, because he already has the capsule belt, the oval bat on the chest, gray and black suit, and now you get the nice completed look. So just a quick little head swap and a repaint of the underside of the cape, and you are in business. And then of course I have the Red Sun Superman head on the Superman Returns, I think is what it was called, body buck, which is the same buck originally used for the Dark Knight Returns wave, just with some lighter blue and a little bit richer of a red, which I prefer that brighter blue for my Superman. The right cape really makes all the difference. Just a static cape is okay standing on a shelf, but if you want to do some more dynamic action figure photography shots, or even if you like posing your figures on the shelf, not just standing in a neutral pose, but doing something dramatic, that's a real plus about this figure. This version of the figure is that soft goods cape with a wire in it, so you can pose it. So yeah, and then there are aftermarket custom capes, which are going to be bigger and fuller and take it even one more level up for you if that's something you're interested in doing. For another quick McFarlane comparison, we have my custom Lone Ranger, which I made from a Vigilante figure, and my custom Tonto, which I made from the Black Falcon, can't remember which figure. I just took the wings off, made him a custom suit out of some leather and cloth, and gave him some of the Vigilante's accessories. The knife and gun go great with it. There's a quick look at the standard Vigilante figure, and of course one of my other customs. Lovingly refer to this guy as the Outlaw. And one more Vigilante custom, the Black Bandit. If you're curious how he scales with Marvel Legends, he will tower over them. This Wolverine is a taller Marvel Legend, because the movie figures tend to run a little taller than the comic versions, so he will definitely tower over your Marvel Legends. Diamond Select Hulk, on the other hand, won't have any problems. And of course we have to take a look at him with the Masters of the Universe Chronicles He-Man figure and the Masters of the Universe Classics He-Man figure. The Mattel version of the Dark Knight figures was built off of this MOTU Classics buck, so if that looks familiar to you, that's why. What are my final thoughts on this figure? If you're a Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns fan, definitely want to pick it up. If you like Multiverse in general, this is a fantastic Batman for your collection. If you like wired capes, this is a pretty good one. If you just like Batman, this is a great Batman. So I recommend it. 10 out of 10. It fixes some problems with some original figures for me, and it also just is that perfect balance of what I would want in this version of the character in this universe. It's just versatile. All the hand options, the posable wire cape, that beautiful superpowers color scheme. It'd be cool if they released like a dirtied up version. You can get this guy, and if you want a grungy version, just take and do a wash on him and kind of dirty him up. No problem. But this is his kind of fresh out the gate, first night back in the game, coming out of retirement for the last 10 or 15 years of not being Batman. So it's clean and crisp and everything that it should be. I love it so much. Thank you, McFarlane, for making this figure a reality. I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.